Chapter 238. Today, a Good Samaritan incident happened in our city. Because I was there, I have the first piece of information. Su Chingsang looked at the introduction below and realized that the woman was actually a host of the local TV station in Rome City. She didn't add fuel to the fire. Instead, she vividly described how Su Chingsang had saved the man's life. After saying that, her expression changed. Unfortunately, this warm-hearted young lady refused to accept my gratitude. She left after doing a good deed. I really want to see this beautiful and brave lady now. I really want to thank her. Su Chingsang almost wanted to laugh. No wonder this woman was so talkative at the police station. So she was a host? But the mood changed again. The host smiled brightly and gently moved a finger. I know the name of my benefactor. Su Chingsang was shocked. Sure enough. Please see my beautiful and brave Miss Su Chingsang from the distant Lin City, or if there is a kind-hearted person who knows Miss Su Chingsang's whereabouts, please give me Miss Su's contact information or address. I want to visit her to thank her. Su Chingsang wasn't the only one staring at the screen. Everyone else was staring at the screen. After reading this part of the news, everyone turned to look at Su Chingsang. From Lin City, named Su Chingsang? Hu Jinyao narrowed his eyes and stopped playing chess. Honey, the person she was talking about isn't you, is it? Su Chingsang smiled a little awkwardly. Would you believe me if I said no? Honey. Hu Jinyao held her hand tightly. I didn't know you were so good at martial arts. Don't listen to that person. I don't have any martial art skills. Su Chingsang held her forehead. I was just lucky today. You call that luck when you defeated the enemy in one move. Hu Jinyao didn't believe it at all. I said that woman was talking nonsense. How could she be so good? Su Chingsang looked at these people and explained what happened during the day in a low voice. What she said was completely different from what the host said. However, it didn't stop the Hu family from listening carefully, especially old Master Hua. He had wanted to be a soldier before, but because he had to take care of his family's business, he wanted to support them in another way. Therefore, the person who joined the army that year was his brother, Hu Yangyuan. Later, because Hu Yangyuan was injured on the battlefield, he was transferred to a civilian position. Hearing Su Chingsang's courage and boldness, he was very happy. Good. Okay. He's a good boy, Grandpa. Su Chingsang blushed. It's really not a big deal. It's just a very small matter. It's already amazing enough that I helped when I saw injustice. Furthermore, he was able to remain calm and composed. All right. It's really rare. Old Master Hu looked at Hu Jinyao as he spoke. Jinyao, you've married a good wife. Of course. Hu Jinyao put his arm around Su Chingsang's shoulders. When Old Master Hu praised her, he also praised himself. I've always had good taste. Yes. Good. Old Master Hu was happy. Chingsang, don't be in a hurry to leave. Stay for a few more days. I'm glad you're here. I will. Chapter 239. Lu Tongjia's face darkened again. Hu Mingguang didn't say a word. When Old Master Hu felt tired and went upstairs, the two of them also went upstairs and left. Su Chingsang breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't feel so comfortable when the elders were there, especially when Lu Tongjia was there. Before she could completely relax, Hu Jinyao's body had completely leaned over. Honey, what are you doing? Although it was late, there were still servants in the Hu family who were still awake. Nothing. I just wanted to wake you up. Hu Jinyao wrapped his arms around her waist and rested his chin on her shoulder. I suddenly realized that my wife is very good. Stop it. Really? Very good. Hu Jinyao added, then leaned over and kissed her on the neck. Honey, why do you think you're so likable? Stop messing around. If someone saw this, she would really die of embarrassment. I'm not messing around. I'm praising you, honey. As Hu Jinyao spoke, he simply picked up her body and put her on his lap. Honey, I discovered something. What? Just now, I met someone else and let you escape. You haven't called me husband yet. Su Chingsang blushed again, feeling very uncomfortable. She quickly moved away from Hu Jinyao's arms. It's getting late. I'm going to take a shower. Su Qingsang ran as fast as a little rabbit. Don't run. Hu Jinyao got up and chased her. Are you going to call me husband or not? Su Qingsang pretended not to hear him and ran faster and faster. Hu Jinyao quickly caught up with her. When Su Qingsang ran back to the room, there was nowhere to run. Hu Jinyao closed the door with an evil smile. Honey, you ran up here yourself. Don't blame me. All the exclamations were muffled by the heavy wooden door, and no one outside could hear anything. Another place in Rong City. It was a small courtyard with 2 entrances. It was very quiet inside, far away from the road. The TV was on, and an auntie brought the dishes to the table. Then, she called into the inner room. Sister Xiang, dinner is ready. Let's eat. The auntie was from Sichuan, and her Sichuan dialect hadn't changed. There was no response, only the sound of a chair being pulled. After a while, the person inside came out. She was a middle-aged woman in her 50s. Her gray hair was tied up at the back of her head. The wrinkles on his face were obvious, and there were even a few spots on his face. He sat down in front of the table. The auntie turned on the TV and sat down on the other side. The news was also playing on the TV. It was the same broadcast in the same city. Both of them watched this program. Sister Xiang was scooping soup for herself when she suddenly heard Su Qingsang's name. She suddenly put down the bowl and stared at the TV screen. The name Su Qingsang had appeared several times, but she seemed to have only heard it once in Lin City. In order to make sure that she didn't hear it wrong, she asked the auntie to replay the TV again. Soon, the news was broadcasted again. This time, Sister Xiang heard it clearly. Lin City, Su Qingsang. Surnamed Su, and with this name? That's right, it can't be wrong. It was her. It had to be her. She still remembered that when she was with that heartless man, they had a wonderful time. She said that she liked the name Qingsang. If she had a daughter in the future, she would call her Qingsang. If she had a son, she would call him Qinghe. Su Qingsang, Su Qingsang. Sister Xiang repeated the name twice in her heart. Chapter 240. Her mind was a little confused, but she was more excited. Countless thoughts kept surging through her mind. Until the auntie called her, Sister Xiang. Why don't you eat? The dishes are going to get cold. When she came back to her senses, Sister Xiang was looking at her with an inquisitive and a little worried gaze. She smiled at the auntie to show that she was fine. This smile stunned the auntie for a moment. She hadn't seen Sister Xiang smile for a long time. Sister Xiang's expression couldn't immediately calm down. She endured it, and the expression on her face slowly returned to normal. Sister Xiang. The auntie finally couldn't restrain her curiosity. What do you think of today's dishes? Pretty good. Sister Xiang, you haven't gone out these days. Do you want to go out today? The weather forecast says that it will be sunny these few days, and it will rain in a few days. It will snow in a few days. Okay, I'll go out for a while. The auntie became more and more frightened. It seemed that Sister Xiang was really going to go out. She hurriedly said, I'll get the car ready later. Where are you going? I'll accompany you. Look at you. It's too late now. You'll go out tomorrow. That's right. The auntie smiled. She focused on eating again. However, she still felt that there was something wrong with Sister Xiang today. Sister Xiang glanced at the screen and thought that she must go out tomorrow. She wanted to find Su Qingsang. She wanted to tell her that she was her mother, and she wanted to tell her that Sister Xiang suddenly stopped eating. She had just found out that Su Qingsang was in Rong City. The excitement of knowing that she was in the same city as her had faded away. She thought of something else. She had once promised that as long as Su Qingsang lived a good life, she would never acknowledge her in this life. She had promised that she would not acknowledge Su Qingsang. Since that was the case, why should she acknowledge her? Her heart sank bit by bit, and Sister Xiang's face returned to its usual gray color. The auntie watched Sister Xiang's expression change and didn't react at all. She had been with Sister Xiang for many years and had long known that Sister Xiang was like this. Gloomy, cold, serious, and not easy to get close to. Sister Xiang's eyes returned to the screen. The program had long been changed. She couldn't even hear that name anymore, let alone that person. Now, what was she going to do? After being pestered by Hu Jinyao for most of the night, Su Qingseng didn't even have the strength to fight back. His hands and feet were weak, and he was too lazy to even move his fingers. She glared at Hu Jinyao, then turned her back to him. She didn't want to look at him at all. Hu Jinyao shamelessly reached out to put his arms around her waist and put his chin on her neck. "Honey, are you angry? Who has the time to be angry with you?" Su Qingseng refused to admit it. She patted his hand and asked him to let go of her. However, such a simple action caused her arm to ache. His anger grew. "Let me go." "I won't. If you don't let go, I'm going to get angry. If I let him go, I'll be discouraged." Hu Jinyao nibbled on her neck as he spoke. "Honey, I can't sleep well without you in my arms." "Nonsense. So you haven't had a good night's sleep for the past 30 years?
Yes.
Hu Jinyao said half-truthfully. "Before you married me, before you let me hold you to sleep, I had nightmares every day." Chapter 241. Hu Jinyao didn't speak. Su Qingseng suddenly turned to look at him. "Did I get it right? Are you hiding something from me again?" "How could I? I'm lying in front of you now. How could I hide anything from you?" As Hu Jinyao spoke, he put his arm around her waist and pulled her back into his arms. "You better not." Su Qingseng didn't like being lied to. She didn't want Hu Jinyao to lie to her again in the future. "Honey, I just suddenly realized that I seem to be too merciful. You're still so energetic. Why don't we do it again?"
No.
Her waist was going to break if he did it again. "Hu Jinyao, give me a little more. Don't do it again." There was a hint of pleading in her words. Hu Jinyao also knew that he had gone too far just now. He was just joking. "All right. If you say no, I won't." Hu Jinyao lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. "Honey, go to sleep. Don't disturb me. I'll naturally fall asleep." As she spoke, she didn't forget to pull his hand away. "Stay away from me. I really want to sleep. I just want to sleep. Do you hear me?"
She was really sleepy.
Ever since she got together with Hu Jinyao, she felt that she didn't have enough sleep. However, this guy didn't know how to control himself at all. He did it again and again. He wouldn't let her go unless he squeezed out all her energy. He was really too bad. All right, I'll let you sleep. I swear, I promise I won't do anything stupid, okay?" Su Qingseng yawned and reluctantly believed him. She was really sleepy. After closing her eyes for a while, she fell asleep. Hu Jinyao watched her fall asleep easily. He tightened his arms and held her in his arms. He fell asleep smelling the faint fragrance of her body. After the two of them had been together for the past few months, they had always been like this. However, he didn't know if what Su Qingseng had said before had some effect. That night, the nightmare that hadn't come for a long time came again. Those familiar scenes that were engraved in his bones replayed over and over again. Hu Jinyao tried his best to get rid of them, but in the end, he could only wake up panting. It was dark in front of him. He reached out his hand to turn on the light. The familiar environment allowed him to relax. The warmth at his side made him turn his face away. His eyes fell on Su Qingseng's face. Was that a guilty conscience? Does it count? Shaking his head to stop thinking about that, he put his arms around Su Qingseng's waist again and let her snuggle against him. Su Qingseng didn't wake up. She found a relatively comfortable position in his arms and fell asleep again. Her breathing was long and balanced, and her cheeks were flushed with a healthy and attractive red. He leaned over and kissed her on the cheek, his gaze gentle. Since he didn't intend to let her know about some things, then he would never let her know. Hugging her waist tightly, he pressed her body closer to his before falling asleep again. This time, the nightmare did not come. It was a dreamless sleep until dawn. Su Qingseng stayed in Rong City for a week. Over the past week, Hu Jinyao had been very busy and had a lot of things to do. She didn't stay idle either. She knew what Hu Jinyao was thinking. He wanted her to have a chance to come to Rong City. She had also seriously considered this matter. It was true that Cheng Xianyun's family owned a hospital. They also owned 2 Class 3 Grade A hospitals, but they were both private. The fees weren't low, and there weren't many patients. Chapter 242. A doctor's skills had to be demonstrated in practice. It wouldn't be a good thing for her if she kept thinking about relaxing. After a few days of observation, she felt that Rome City First City Hospital was the best. Firstly, it was very close to Huijinyao's company. Secondly, the obstetrics and gynecology department was also very famous in the area. If she really had to come, Su Qingsang was more inclined to go to Rome City First City Hospital. She finished her observation, but she wasn't in a hurry to tell Huijinyao the result. Huijinyao spent a week dealing with some important business matters. He also told Old Master Hua that he would leave the next day. Although Old Master Hua was reluctant, it wasn't like his grandson wouldn't come back. What's more, Su Qingsang might come back with him. He repeatedly advised Su Qingsang to come to Rome City, if possible. After all, Huijinyao would only be busier in the future. He flew around all year round. If she was in Rome City, he could take care of her more. Su Qingsang really liked Old Master Hua. She was also slowly considering his proposal. However, she didn't say anything. She hoped that she could really come to Rome City and give Old Master Hua a surprise. It had rained a few days ago, and Rome City was a little colder. Su Qingsang and Huijinyao were on the plane the next day. After thinking about it, she still went out in the afternoon. She wasn't close to the Su family, but she had a good relationship with the people in the department. And Shermeng Wan. She wanted to pick out some gifts for them. Huijinyao took the initiative to go out with her. He knew better than her what kinds of specialties there were in Rome City. Su Qingsang looked at her phone contacts and asked Huijinyao for his opinion. What else do you think I can buy besides some food? Huijinyao mentioned a few things, all of which were specialties of Rome City. Seeing Su Qingsang take a small notebook, he wanted to laugh. I told you Wan Xianing's family has several factories. He specializes in these things. I asked him to send some over, but you said no. I don't want it. Su Qingsang glanced at him. I'm buying things for people, so of course I have to pay. If you ask him to send it over, will he ask you for money? He wouldn't dare. Huijinyao chuckled. He wouldn't dare to accept it even if I gave it to him. That's right. Su Qingsang had met Northerners before and knew that they were generous. But this was different.
Don't worry about it. Just take me to that place.
I'll buy it myself. Okay. I'll listen to you. He leaned over and squeezed her hand. Honey, I've listened to you during the day. Shouldn't you listen to me at night? Su Qingsang smiled and said, I've listened to you during the day. Stop messing around. Su Qingsang blushed. This guy couldn't think of anything else other than this every day. Can you focus on driving? Okay, I'll drive. Huijinyao withdrew his hand. There was a turn right in front of him. He was about to turn the car over when a figure suddenly flashed out of the corner. Huijinyao couldn't dodge in time, so he quickly braked. Fortunately, the speed of the car wasn't too fast. Otherwise, it would have hit someone. When the car stopped, Su Qingsang was startled. After Huijinyao got out of the car, she got out as well. There was a middle-aged woman sitting in front of the car. She looked to be in her 50s, and her hair was half white. She was sitting on the ground in pain. Auntie, are you all right? Huijinyao immediately went forward to help the man up. Su Qingsang quickly followed. She was a doctor and knew how to deal with external injuries. Chapter 243. Don't move her. I'll check for her. People at this age were most afraid of bumping into things. It would be bad if something happened to them. Su Qingsang squatted down and said softly to Xiang Kaiping, who was sitting on the ground, Auntie, I'm a doctor. Can you tell me where you hit yourself? Where does it hurt? Can you move your hands and feet? Xiang Kaiping looked at the young woman in front of her. Her face dazzled her for a moment. Really? Perhaps not quite. But she did look like that person. She did not look like herself, but more like that person. She almost didn't need to ask anymore. Just by looking at this face, what else could she not understand? Auntie. Huijinyao squatted down as well. At the same time, he took out his phone to call an ambulance. Su Qingsing reached out and waved her hand in front of Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, can you hear me? Auntie, you. Xiang Kaiping said you twice, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. Where does it hurt?
Tell me.
Su Qingsing was afraid that she would hit herself too hard. As for why he didn't say that he hit hard, she was sitting in the front seat, so she knew that Hu Jinyao's car didn't hit the woman. She was just startled by the sudden appearance of the car and fell. She called out a few times, but the auntie only had a pained expression on her face. She didn't say where she was hurt. Su Qingsong's expression suddenly changed. Was this old auntie here to blackmail her? She couldn't help but look at Hu Jinyao. Hu Jinyao had already finished the call. Soon, the ambulance arrived. When he saw the worried look on Su Qingsong's face, he was confused. Qingsing, what's wrong? Qingsing? Yes, it's her. Xiang Saiping's eyes, which were already a little misty, widened again. It really was her. You. Xiang Kaiping was so agitated that she blushed. His voice also became a little sluggish. All these years, other than the Annie who took care of her daily life, she basically didn't speak much. He couldn't find the words to organize his words. Seeing this, the suspicion on Su Qingsong's face was replaced by worry. Auntie, are you alright? Auntie? How could she call her aunt? I am. Xiang Kaiping was about to reveal her identity when she felt a pain in her waist. Auntie, don't move. You might have accidentally twisted your waist. As Su Qingsing spoke, she pressed Xiang Saiping's body down to prevent her from getting up. Xiang Kaiping wanted to say something, but when she saw Hu Jinyao standing there, she couldn't say anything. Hu Jinyao also thought that the woman who suddenly fell to the ground was a scammer. This kind of thing happened too often, especially to someone like him who drove a luxury car. However, even if it was a scam, he was not afraid. However, this woman didn't look like an ordinary scammer. She had been acting very well up until now, and she didn't ask for much compensation. Also, why did she keep staring at Su Qingsing? Do you think it's easier to talk to women? Auntie, bear with it for a while. I'll take a look at your wound and do some emergency treatment. Su Qingsing noticed that the woman had been staring at her. She seemed to be on guard, but it also seemed to be something else. She whispered in a very gentle voice, "Don't worry. I'm a doctor." Doctor? Her daughter was actually a doctor? The bitterness in Xiang Saiping's eyes deepened. All these years, she had never seen her daughter. I didn't even know she was a doctor. Good, very good. Chapter 244. Don't move in a hurry. Be careful of a second injury to your lumbar spine. Su Qingsing held her body down and didn't let her move. Xiang Kaiping didn't move. She just looked at Su Qingsing as if she couldn't get enough of her. Su Qingsing examined her and didn't find any fractures or other serious injuries. It was probably just a sprain. She still suspected that this woman was trying to blackmail her, but she couldn't be sure now that the other party didn't have any further impulse. The ambulance arrived soon. Su Qingsing helped the doctor put Xiang Kaiping into the car and told the doctor about her preliminary diagnosis. The doctor nodded to show that he understood. Su Qingsing and Hu Jinyao were going to leave, but after thinking about it, they went to the hospital. After entering the hospital, Hu Jinyao was afraid that this woman was trying to blackmail her, so he asked someone to check her body from head to toe. Xiang Kaiping was fine. Her palms were a little bruised, and her waist was sprained. There were no other serious injuries. Hu Jinyao didn't see her as a blackmailer because the other party didn't say anything about compensation. Auntie, there's nothing serious. We've already paid for the hospitalization fees. You just need to stay here for a few more days. Hearing Su Qingsong's words, Xiang Kaiping became anxious. You're not going to stay here to take care of me? Sure enough, this was really a blackmailer. Su Qingsing and Hu Jinyao looked at each other, and the same emotion flashed in their eyes. Auntie, your injury is not serious. Your injury isn't very serious. If you want someone to take care of you, I can hire a caregiver for you. I want you to take care of me. Xiang Kaiping held her hand and sounded a little anxious. I'm afraid that's not possible. Su Qingsing was a little embarrassed. Auntie, I'm not from Rome City. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'm sorry. But don't worry, I'll hire a good caregiver to take care of you. You're leaving? Xiang Kaiping was stunned. She had seen the news and naturally knew that Su Qingseng was from Lin City. She actually knew without looking. However, she didn't say anything, and she was leaving? Yes, Auntie. Su Qingseng's attitude was quite good. After all, she was also a doctor. I said, don't worry. I'll have someone take care of you until you recover. But Xiang Kaiping didn't know what else she could say. She couldn't say a word, but she felt that she had a lot to say. Hu Jinyao frowned.
He had seen too many people like this.
They pretended to be pitiful to gain sympathy, but in the end, they wanted to extort money.
Qingseng.
Hu Jinyao pulled Su Qingseng to his side, blocking most of her body. She looked at Xiang Kaiping, who was lying on the bed with a face full of secrets.
Hello, Auntie. I was the one who drove just now.
If you're looking for her, you've got the wrong person. Xiang Kaiping's lips moved. Hu Jinyao continued, she's my wife. If you have any requests, just tell me. As for taking care of you, I'm sorry. My wife is inconvenienced. I can hire someone to take care of you. It was the first time that Xiang Kaiping had laid her eyes on Hu Jinyao. She looked at him, then at Su Qingseng. Who would have thought that she was actually married? Yes, she was 25 years old this year, so it was normal for her to get married. Chapter 245. Auntie, just say it.
It was just a sprained waist.
He also wanted to see how much this woman could ask for. What do you want? Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qingseng again. I want her to take care of me for 2 days. Impossible. How could Hu Jinyao let his wife take care of a stranger? How much money do you want?
Just say it.
Or, what compensation do you want?
Just say it.
But she can't stay and take care of you for a few days. I don't want money. Xiang Kaiping didn't expect that one day she would be misunderstood as asking for money. She was anxious. I really don't want money. I don't want her to, Auntie. Su Qingseng knew that Hu Jinyao wanted to protect her, but she really wasn't afraid. I'm really sorry. If you have other requests, we can satisfy them. I really can't stay. Her vacation ended tomorrow, and she would start working the day after tomorrow. She would go back tomorrow and rest for half a day. How about this? I'll help you hire a caregiver. Or, you can tell me your family's contact information, and I'll contact your family. Family? Xiang Kaiping smiled bitterly and looked at Su Qingseng. I have no family. Su Qingseng was speechless and turned to look at Hu Jinyao. What should she do? Hu Jinyao frowned, looked at her, and shook his head. He gestured for her to ignore him. Auntie, I understand how you feel, but we do have something to do. How about this? I'll ask someone to come over. Don't worry, we will never run away. We will definitely take responsibility. Hu Jinyao's attitude was sincere. If it weren't for Su Qingseng's kindness, he would have called his assistant to deal with this matter. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qingseng and wanted to say something, but stopped on second thought. Her eyes were red. Hu Jinyao didn't have the patience to watch this kind of sad drama. He squeezed Su Qingseng's hand and gestured for her to leave with him. Auntie, we'll leave first. Don't worry, we promise to take responsibility until the end. Qingseng, let's go. If she didn't let Su Qingseng contact with that woman, who knew what she wanted? Xiang Kaiping was still struggling. She knew that she had wronged Su Qingseng, but she wasn't sure if Su Qingseng would accept her. She was even more afraid that Su Qingseng wouldn't believe her. She was also afraid that Su Qingseng would blame her for not taking care of her after believing her. By the time Xiang Kaiping realized what was going on, Hu Jinyao had already left with Su Qingseng. Hu Jinyao did not go back on his word. Yang Wenchang soon arrived. She was here to deal with this incident, which seemed to be a small matter in Hu Jinyao's opinion. Xiang Kaiping's disappointment was obvious, but no matter how hard she asked, Yang Wenchang refused to reveal any more information about the two of them. Su Qingseng and Hu Jinyao were not in the mood to shop because of what happened to Xiang Kaiping. Let's go. We'll go home after we buy some things. All right. Su Qingseng didn't refuse, but she still felt that something wasn't right. Hu Jingyao, did you notice that there was something strange about that Andy? Especially when he looked at her, it seemed like there were thousands of words in his eyes. It was the first time Su Qingsang had been looked at like that. That feeling was really subtle.
Did I?
Hu Jingyao thought so too, but his feeling was completely different from Su Qingsang. I think there's something wrong with her eyes.
Why?
Chapter 246. That's why I said it felt weird. Su Qingsang looked at herself, and then at Hu Jingyao. The way she looked at me didn't look like she wanted to blackmail me. Instead, it looked like Su Qingsang couldn't put her finger on it, but she also felt that it was strange. She was dressed very normally this time. Even though Hu Jingyao had prepared many brands of clothes for her to hang in the closet, she was more used to wearing her own clothes. As for Hu Jingyao, he had to work these few days. Even if the brand of the suit he was wearing couldn't be seen, anyone with a bit of insight could tell that it was worth a lot of money from the handmade feeling. However, Xiang Kaiping kept clinging to her and did not even look at Hu Jingyao. Wasn't this too strange? There's another possibility. Hu Jingyao thought more than Su Qingsang. Is it possible that she thinks women are easier to talk to? Did she deliberately pester you because you're my wife? It wasn't impossible, but Su Qingsang still didn't think it was the right answer. Forget it, I won't think about it anymore. Let's go. Didn't you say you wanted to buy a gift? Okay. Su Qingsang nodded and left with Hu Jingyao. The next day, Su Qingsang got up early to practice Tai Chi with Old Master Hua. She had been accompanying Old Master Hua in the mornings for the past few days. It had only been a few days, so naturally, she hadn't learned much. Old Master Hua was very patient. He didn't expect Su Qingsang to learn at once. He just wanted someone to accompany him. Every morning, Su Qingsang would practice boxing with Old Master Hua, and Hu Jingyao would swim in the pool nearby. After a few days, Old Master Hua was more and more satisfied with Su Qingsang. The two of them got along very well, except for the other members of the Hua family. She was going to leave today, but Su Qingsang accompanied Old Master Hua to practice boxing as she did a few days ago. Are you tired?
All right.
Let's call it a day. Old Master Hua stopped and looked at Su Qingsang lovingly. Qingsang, are you going back to Lin City today? Yes. Su Qingsang nodded, and there was a hint of reluctance on her face. Grandpa, I will miss you. Remember to call more often. I will. Qingsang. Old Master Hua glanced at the swimming pool. Hu Jingyao was still swimming. He shouldn't be able to hear us, right? Jingyao, this child. He doesn't look 5 or 6 sometimes, but this boy, he's not what you see. Old Master Hua was still thinking about what to say. Su Qingsang looked at Old Master Hua and waited for him to finish his words without blinking. Actually, it wasn't like this in the past, because something had happened. Before Jinyao's mother, Dad. The sudden voice made Old Master Hua stop mid-sentence. He turned his head and saw that Lu Tongjia had arrived without him noticing. Tongjia. Old Master Hua didn't say anything. Lu Tongjia glanced at Su Qingsang. That look made Su Qingsang shrink her neck. Lu Tongjia didn't look at her anymore. She just looked at Old Master Hua. It was his uncle on the phone.
He's looking for you.
Okay. Old Master Hua glanced at Su Qingsang and went back into the room to answer the phone. Chapter 247. Su Qingsang frowned slightly, but Lu Tongjia wasn't afraid that she would be unhappy. Jingyao is my son. I know him very well. It was impossible for him to truly like a woman. Therefore, even if you have the title of the young mistress of the Hua family, you don't have to be complacent, because it's hard to say how long you'll be able to occupy this position. Auntie, you misunderstood. The smile on Su Qingsang's face was faint. Jingyao is your son, but I don't think you know him well.
Also, you underestimated me.
I'm not with Jingyao because I want to be the young mistress of the Hua family. As for how long you said I can occupy it, the benevolent see benevolence, and the wise see wisdom. At least, I think I can keep it. Is that so? Let's just wait and see. Lu Tongjia's expression was unfriendly, and her tone became more firm. Don't worry, Auntie. I'll treat this as motivation. Su Qingsang smiled calmly. She wasn't moved by Lu Tongjia's words at all. Lu Tongjia didn't get the upper hand. Her face grew colder and colder. With a snort, he turned around and left. On the other side, Hu Jingyao had already come out of the water. The weather was so cold, but he was not afraid. She only wrapped a bathrobe around her body and came over. He didn't see old Master Hua, only Lu Tongjia leaving. What did my mother say? Standing in front of Su Qingsang, Hu Jingyao looked concerned. Nothing much. If she says anything, just ignore her. Hu Jingyao knew that he was wet, so he didn't hug Su Qingsang. He just squeezed her hand.
Got it.
Su Qingsang looked at Hu Jingyao. The concern in his eyes didn't seem to be fake, and his kindness towards her wasn't fake either. She didn't think that Hu Jinyao's love for her was fake, nor did she think that Hu Jingyao married her for any purpose. If she hadn't seen the power of the Hua family before, she would have been a little hesitant, but there was no need to do so now. What kind of family did the Hua family have? What kind of family did the Su family have? This was completely incomparable. Although she was curious about the reason why Hu Jingyao married her, so what? She had always liked to look forward. No matter what the beginning was like, at least now, she felt good. That was enough. After dinner, the Hua family's chauffeur sent them to the airport. Lu Tongjia wasn't there. She didn't plan to send her son off, and Hu Jingyao wouldn't ask her to. In fact, Su Qingsang was also curious about why the relationship between Hu Jingyao and Lu Tongjia was so tense. She was just curious, but she had no intention of asking. Hu Jingyao would say it when he wanted to. The plane landed at the airport in Lin City. The people arranged by Hu Jingyao had already come to pick them up. Su Qingsang heaved a sigh of relief when she got home. No matter how luxurious the Hua family was, she still felt that her own place was the best. It was already early winter, and the temperature in Lin City had dropped. Su Qingsang lay on the bed and watched Hu Jingyao carry the clothes into the walk-in closet. She turned over and looked at him. Hu Jingyao. Just now, Hu Jingyao brought in 2 suitcases. As for the things she bought, they were all in the living room, waiting for Su Qingsang to give them away tomorrow. Is it unfair for you to live in such a small house? Hu Jingyao stopped cleaning, walked to the bed, and sat down. What? Do you want to move? Of course not. No matter how small it was still her own nest. I just feel wrong for you, young Master Hua. Chapter 248. Isn't it? Su Qingsang said half-jokingly. Look at my room. It's not even as big as your cloakroom. She was lying on the bed with her hair cascading down her face. There was a hint of gentleness in her elegance. My house isn't even as big as your living room. Think about it, Hu Xiao. You've always lived in a big house, and now you're living in mine. Can I feel wronged on your behalf? You feel bad for me, don't you? Hu Jinyao's eyes darkened, and his hand tickled her waist a few times. Su Qingsang shrunk her body and laughed. Don't come. Are you going to tell me or not? Hu Jinyao kept scratching her. Are you going to feel sorry for me? No need.
No.
Su Qingsang laughed so hard that she couldn't even breathe. She kept begging for mercy. Hu Jinyao withdrew his hand. Her hair was messy. Her cheeks were red and her eyes were misty. Seeing her like this made his throat tighten. He lowered his head and pressed his forehead against hers. I still want to punish you. What should I do?
Hu Jinyao.
Su Qingsang blushed even more. She stopped laughing because she was embarrassed. I'm going to punish you a little more so that you'll remember it. Don't talk nonsense next time, don't you think? Hu Jinyao. Su Qingsang tried to avoid him.
Stop it.
It's daytime. It's better during the day. Hu Jinyao grabbed her waist. This time, he wasn't trying to tickle her. Soon, the voices in the room changed, and so did the atmosphere. When Su Qingsang entered the hospital, she was holding a large box in her hands. She entered the department and handed out the specialties she brought back from Rome City to everyone. She had been wronged previously and had asked for leave. Everyone in the department thought that she was putting on a show and throwing a tantrum. As soon as Su Qing-sang came back, she openly told everyone that she had gone on a honeymoon. After giving out these gifts, no one would say that the lass was deliberately putting on a show. After that, Su Qing-sang went to the hospital administration and gave Deputy Director Yang and Director Lin a copy. Although they didn't help much last time, they still spoke up for her. The last one was naturally for Zhou Hongchen. However, he went to perform surgery. Su Qing-sang left the things on his desk and left. Back in the office, Su Qing-sang threw herself back into her busy work. After staying here for a long time, she still liked the environment here. Therefore, she would not easily consider changing places and working in Rome City. He had just returned to work, so he wasn't particularly busy. When it was time to get off work, basically no one came to the emergency department. She packed up all the files and was about to shut down and get off work. Someone knocked on the door. He looked up and saw Su Peijian. She stood at the door expressionlessly and glanced at Su Qingsang's office with a flash of disgust in her eyes. "What's up?" Su Peijian withdrew her gaze, entered the room, and closed the door. He stopped in front of Su Qing-sang. Su Qing-sang raised her head to look at her. "Miss Su, are you feeling unwell?" She was in the gynecology department. It was either pregnancy or gynecology. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Su Peijian's face turned green. She glared at Su Qing-sang, her face full of displeasure. "Then what is it?" She couldn't be blamed for overthinking. She was in the hospital. Chapter 249. Seeing that Su Qing-sang didn't speak, Su Peijian took a step forward.
What?
"Can't tell? Do you think I won't know if you don't tell me?" Su Qing-sang had a headache. She had forgotten about it after staying in Rome City for a week. "I really don't know." "You don't know?" Su Peijian didn't believe it at all. "Su Qing-sang, if you want to hold back and laugh at me, you won't get what you want. Sister, you think too much." Su Qing-sang rarely called Su Peijian sister. Every time she called her sister that, it meant that she was really helpless. "I don't have to lie to you. I really don't know. You really don't know, or you really don't dare to say it." Su Peijian took a step forward and stood in front of Su Qing-sang. She tried her best to control her expression, but some anger could still be seen on her face. "Do you think I don't know? Do you think I don't know?" "Su Qing-sang, that woman is you." Su Qing-sang was startled by his sudden cold tone, but she quickly reacted after a few seconds.
"Sister.
"I really don't know. What's more, if the person Qiu Yanbo likes is me, why would he wait until we're engaged to talk about it? It's not realistic at all." She said it very seriously, so seriously that she believed it herself. Su Peijian looked at her deeply, knowing that Su Qingsang's words were not unreasonable. She nodded her head heavily. "Okay, Su Qing-sang, since you said it has nothing to do with you, then I will believe you this time, but only this time. If I find out that the person in Yanba's heart is you, or that you are deliberately hiding something, then don't blame me for being rude." She wasn't a bad person, and she didn't want to deal with an illegitimate daughter like Su Qing-sang. But if she really offended her, she would definitely not be polite. After throwing this warning, Su Peijian turned and left, leaving Su Qing-sang rubbing her eyebrows helplessly. What she did just now shouldn't be considered a lie, right? In Rome City, Su Qing-sang had not only bought gifts for the people in her department, but also for the Su family. But after Su Qingsang's trouble, she didn't want to come to her. If Su Peijian and Li Qianxue decided that she was the reason why Su Peijian couldn't get engaged to Qiu Yanba, she would be in even more trouble. When she got home, Su Qing-sang called a courier to pack her things and send them to the Su family. As for whether Su Qinghui would be dissatisfied or angry, it was none of her business. In any case, she had done her part. At the same time, there was a gift for Shi Mengwan. After thinking about it, he called Shi Mengwan and asked her to meet him. Shi Mengwan had been very busy these few days, except for the few orders she had received. She also participated in a very famous wedding dress design competition in the domestic industry. She attached great importance to this competition, so much so that she had been drawing day and night, but she was always not satisfied with it, so she tore it up. When she received Su Qingsong's call, she remembered that she hadn't seen her for a long time. The two of them arranged a place to meet and have a meal together. Not long after Shi Mengwan sat down, she remembered to remind Su Qingsong of something. Your sister came to the wedding dress shop to look for me twice. She kept asking me if I knew who the woman who made Qiu Yanba change his mind was. I've already passed the buck. Be careful, I'm afraid she'll cause you trouble. Chapter 250. It's okay. Su Qingsong knew that her friend cared about her. She already came to me, but I said I didn't know, and she couldn't do anything to me. That's true. Shi Mengwan thought of the Su family and began to feel uncomfortable. But you'd better stay away from them. I don't think any of them are good people. Don't be like that. They just don't like me.
It's not a bad thing.
Buffed. Shi Mengwan sneered. That's because you have a good temper. If it were me, I would have turned the world upside down. All right, I know you're doing this for my own good.
Thank you.
If you really want to thank me, today's meal is on you. No problem. Su Qingsong answered readily. Shi Mengwan slapped her forehead hard. Look at me. I've been drawing so much that I've lost my mind. Your family has such a powerful background. You don't need money now. I didn't say anything. It's his business that he's rich. It's not my money.
Don't provoke me.
Shi Mengwan clutched her chest and looked hurt. You just randomly got a man to marry and you managed to get such a high-quality man. I'm going to be jealous of you. Su Qingsong's eyes softened when she thought of Hu Jinyao. Well, she was indeed lucky. I'm lucky. There's no way out. Shi Mengwan leaned on the table with a lifeless look. Have you ever considered the feelings of a single dog like me when you're showing off your love?
All right. Stop acting.
Su Qingsong took out the gift and pushed it in front of Shi Mengwan. Here, make up for your hurt heart. That's more like it. Shi Mengwan took the gift with a miserly look on her face, which made Su Qingsong smile again. With such a good friend in Lin City, she really didn't want to leave for Rong City. So she'd better go to Rong City first. Rong City. Sister Xiang, your back is completely healed? You're discharged already? The aunt had taken care of Xiang Kaiping in the hospital for a few days. She was fine, but she was still a little worried. I'm fine. Xiang Kaiping shook her head. She touched the back of her waist. It was still a little painful, but it was no big deal. Sister Xiang, Mr. Yang left a lot of money. He said it was compensation. Xiang Kaiping frowned. The Mr. Yang the auntie was referring to was Yang Wenchang. Apart from showing concern on the first day, he came to the hospital. For the rest of the time, he hired a caregiver to take care of Xiang Kaiping every day. Today, when he heard that Xiang Kaiping had been discharged from the hospital, he came again to deliver a check. Xiang Kaiping didn't ask for it because the aunt had been taking care of her for the past few days. Yang Wenchang thought that the lady worked for Xiang Kaiping and gave her the check. The woman handed the check to Xiang Kaiping. Xiang Kaiping looked at the check with disgust in her eyes. He took it and tore it into pieces without a second thought. The auntie's mouth was wide open. One had to know that this was 100,000 yuan. She had sprained her waist, and the other party had paid 100,000 yuan for the medical expenses. The auntie felt that it was a lot. Xiang Kaiping did not explain further. She thought about the decision she had made in the past few days. I am very grateful to you for taking care of me all these years. However, I want to go to Lin City. Sister Xiang, are you going to Lin City? The auntie's surname was Chen. She had taken care of Xiang Kaiping for a few years. This was the first time she heard her say that she wanted to leave Rong City and go to such a far place.
Yes.
I want to go to Rong City. Chapter 251. Su Qingsong hung up the phone with a faint smile on her face. Hu Jinyao saw it from the side. He turned over and pressed her under his body. Why are you so happy? Just now when he went to take a shower, he was still on the phone. Well, he actually wanted to ask her who she was chatting with for so long. Nothing. Su Qingsong shook her head. The wedding dress designed by Mengwan entered the finals. It was Shi Mengwan again. The smile on Hu Jinyao's face faded a little. You really care about her. He had picked the best present for Shi Mengwan. As soon as he came back, he went to Shi Mengwan's place to give her a present. For this, he had even neglected her. Later, when Shi Mengwan participated in the competition, she drew day and night. She was even more attentive than when she participated in the competition. From time to time, she would send some soup and water to her, saying that it was to nourish her body. She had never given him one before. This was too biased. Mengwan is my good friend. Of course, I care about her. Moreover, although Shi Mengwan had parents, she lived alone outside. Then why don't I see you paying more attention to me? As Hu Jinyao spoke, he kissed her on the cheek again. There was some dissatisfaction in his eyes. You don't even care about me so much. You're talking nonsense again. Su Qingsang didn't want to admit it, but thinking about it carefully, she seemed to have neglected him a lot recently. Over the past few days, she had been in the hospital during the day and had to rush a thesis at night. This was the disadvantage of being a doctor. From time to time, you would have to take exams and write papers. No matter how professional you were, these were still necessary. He used the remaining time to accompany Shi Mengwan. She had really neglected Hu Jinyao. All right, what do you want me to do? She reflected on the fact that she had been back for more than a week and realized that she had not been a good wife. Su Qingsing thought that maybe she could satisfy some of his small requirements. Listen to me tonight. Hu Jinyao's first request made Su Qingsing blush. Was this a request? Which night did she not listen to him? Hu Jinyao also realized that this request didn't count, so he made another request. Our company has recently negotiated a cooperation project. Almost all the reputable companies in Lin City have participated in some of the cooperation. So, the company decided to hold a banquet next week. At that time, you can attend as the hostess. Attend a banquet? Su Qingsang seemed to be in a dilemma. Does the Su family also include the Su family? The Li family? You have enemies? Of course. The Su family wasn't very friendly to Su Qingsang. However, he couldn't deny the strength of these few families. After all, to be able to take root in Lin City for so many years, it was impossible not to have strength. It was a collaboration. Hello. Can I not go? She hadn't met Su Peijian for the past few days. However, Su Qinghui had specially called her last time when he delivered the things to her. On the one hand, he said that she was impolite. She actually sent a gift by express delivery. On the one hand, he wanted to ask her who Qiu Yanba liked. It was fine if they didn't bump into each other, but what if they did bump into each other at the banquet? If Qiu Yanba made any moves, no. Hu Jinyao squeezed her little hand. I want to introduce you to everyone. I want to let them know that you're my wife. She's the wife of the president of Tianyu Group. Su Qingsang looked at the focus in his eyes. He introduced her to his family, then to his friends, and now to his business partner. She suddenly understood his intentions. After thinking for a while, she nodded her head lightly. Chapter 252. The banquet Hu Jinyao mentioned was on Friday night. Su Qingsang didn't have to go to work the next day. She worked the night shift the night before and slept at home on Friday morning. When she woke up, she received a call from Hu Jinyao. He said that he had sent someone to deliver clothes. When Su Qingsang hung up the phone, Yang Wenchang arrived. Not only did he send clothes, but he also brought 2 stylists to do Su Qingsang's hair. Su Qingsang didn't expect Hu Jinyao to be so considerate. After thanking Yang Wenchang, she entered the room with the 2 stylists. An hour later, Su Qingsang was done. When she stood up and was about to leave, she found that Hu Jinyao had come back. You're back? Seeing Hu Jinyao in the mirror, Su Qingsang quickly turned around with a look of surprise on her face.
Yes.
I'm here to pick you up. Hu Jinyao looked at Su Qingsang, his eyes full of amazement. The dress he chose for Su Qingsang was a white one-shoulder dress. There were no complicated decorations, just a simple white dress. He just put effort into the tailoring. The clean line from the right shoulder showed off her rounded shoulder. The dress was ankle-length, and underneath it was a pair of silver high heels he chose. The diamond-studded shoes looked noble and elegant. At the same time, it also lengthened Su Qingsong's height, making her look especially slender and graceful. The stylist only did a simple job on Su Qingsong's hair to match the dress. She curled a few big waves at the end of her hair and let it fall over her right shoulder. In this way, the shoulder was half covered, but it looked more sexy than if it was completely exposed. "Honey, you're so beautiful today." Hu Jinyao was not stingy with his compliments. Su Qingsong blushed a little. There were people around. The two stylists were quite perceptive. They said goodbye and left. Hu Jinyao could now focus on his beautiful wife. He stepped forward, held Su Qingsong's hand, and looked her up and down. "Honey, I have good taste, right? I picked this dress." Yes. Was she trying to praise her or herself? But it's still missing something. As Hu Jinyao spoke, he took 2 steps toward her. Su Qingsong saw that he was still holding a box in his hand. Su Qingsong watched him open the box. Inside was a 3-piece set of diamond jewelry. Pink diamonds of different sizes were arranged in a circle, and in the middle was a starlight design. The matching bracelet and earrings were also made of pink diamonds. They were so bright that they almost dazzled Su Qingsong. She looked at the necklace and thought of the diamond ring Hu Jinyao had given her. "Well, you're not lying again, are you?" Su Qingsong joked with him. She knew in her heart that it couldn't be false. "Honey, you're so smart," Hu Jinyao joked. He picked up the necklace and put it on Su Qingsong. Hu Jinyao took the initiative to serve her. Looking at Su Qingsong in front of him, he took a step back, his eyes full of admiration. "Perfect. Let's go." "Wife, the banquet is about to begin." The banquet was booked in a villa on the outskirts of Lin City. Hu Jinyao told Su Qingsong that it was a small banquet. However, this banquet was not small at all. When Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsong arrived, many people had already arrived. Tianyu Group had been making frequent moves in Lin City in the past few months. Anyone with a bit of foresight would want to establish a relationship with the Tianyu Group. Of course, there were some people who didn't need to claim connections. They already had connections with the Tianyu Group. For example, Qiu Yanba. As one of the collaborators, he was also attending the banquet today. Chapter 253. Like most of the men who came today, when Qiu Yanba saw Su Qingsong, he was stunned. It was as if a person who was usually only 8 out of 10 had suddenly become 10 out of 10. Su Qingsong was indeed not an outstanding beauty. She looked gentle and beautiful. Because she studied medicine, she had a clean and refreshing temperament. She was standing next to Hu Jinyao. She was wearing a white dress, and Hu Jinyao was wearing a dark suit. When the two of them stood together, it was as if they were a golden couple. Su Qingsong stood next to Hu Jinyao. She didn't know much about business, but she was a very qualified listener. When Hu Jinyao chatted with others, she stood next to him and listened. Occasionally, when someone specifically asked her, Hu Jinyao had already begun to introduce her without her saying anything. "This is my wife, Su Qingsong."
Su?
The surname Su wasn't a big one in Lin City, but there were only 1 or 2 famous Su families. Some people who had attended Su Qingsong and Hu Jinyao's wedding banquet recognized her immediately. Hu Jinyao was very famous in Lin City now, but he hadn't had the chance to meet him before. Soon, almost everyone in the banquet hall knew that the wife of the president of Tianyu Group, who showed her face for the first time in public, was Su Qingsong. Even more quickly, people knew Su Qingsong's identity. The illegitimate daughter of the Su family, a person who had almost been abandoned by her family, was actually the wife of the president of Tianyu Group? This was simply too shocking. This led to more and more people sizing up Su Qingsong, both openly and discreetly. Qiu Yanba walked towards Su Qingsong under the watchful eyes of the crowd. "Are you tired?" Hu Jinyao put his arm around Su Qingsong's waist. He had never seen her wear high heels. Although the shoes today weren't particularly high, they were much higher than the shoes she usually wore. "I'm fine." She had just arrived. How was she tired? Su Qingsang shook her head and glanced at the banquet hall. Did your company specially rent this villa for the banquet? Hu Jinyao looked at her and shook his head.
No.
As he spoke, he kissed Su Qingsang on the cheek and whispered in her ear, "You'll know later." He was acting mysteriously. If he didn't say anything, Su Qingsang wouldn't ask. Out of the corner of his eye, Hu Jinyao saw Qiu Yanba walking towards him. He frowned and his eyes darkened.
Qingsang.
President Hua. Qiu Yanba greeted the two of them. The way he addressed them was very familiar. Hu Jinyao looked at Qiu Yanba's outstretched hand and shook Qiu Yanba's. Boss Qiu is really punctual. It's my duty. Qiu Yanba smiled indifferently and ignored Hu Jinyao's piercing gaze. He withdrew his hand and reached out to Su Qingsang. Qingsang, you look beautiful today. Thank you. Su Qingsang was about to shake hands with him, but Hu Jinyao grabbed her hand and pulled her to his side. She's not just beautiful today. Hu Jinyao completely ignored Qiu Yanba's hand, which was still in the air, and kissed Su Qingsang on the cheek. In my eyes, Qingsang is beautiful every day. Su Qingsang was a little embarrassed. She quietly pinched Hu Jinyao's waist. How could he praise his wife like that? I didn't say anything wrong. Hu Jinyao didn't feel any pain from Su Qingsang's pinch. Instead, he leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. My wife is beautiful every day. Chapter 254. Qiu Yanba looked at Hu Jinyao's movements and calmly retracted his hand. Really? I think so too. Su Qingsang was even more embarrassed. She really couldn't accept Qiu Yanba's sudden friendliness. She looked at the entrance and found that the Su family had arrived. Su Chenghui and Li Qianxue would never want to attend this banquet if they had a choice. But now they couldn't. Hu Jinyao had revealed his identity and also cooperated with the Li Corporation on a billion-dollar investment project. Su Chenghui and Li Qianxue could ignore Su Qingsang, but now they had to respect Hu Jinyao. Su Peijian came with them. Compared to Su Qingsang, who was wearing a white dress, she was wearing a very eye-catching red dress. Her facial features were more beautiful than Su Qingsang's. Coupled with the red dress, she looked flamboyant and gorgeous. As soon as she appeared at the door with Su Chenghui and his wife, it was very eye-catching. Everyone present looked at the Su family. Many people still had an impression of the previous wedding. For the Su family, that wedding was simple to the point of being shabby. The Su family's attitude towards Su Qingsang was obvious. But now it was different. Su Qingsang was married to Hu Jinyao. He was the young master of the Hu family in Rong City. The Su family must be regretting it so much that their intestines would turn green, right? Li Qianxue frowned as soon as she came in. She completely ignored the surrounding people's gazes and walked straight to Hu Jinyao. Dad.
Auntie.
You're here. Compared to the cold attitude of the Su family, Hu Jinyao's attitude could be said to be very friendly. What a coincidence. Mr. Qiu only arrived a few minutes earlier than you. He knew that Su Peijian and Qiu Yanba had broken off their engagement, but he still pretended not to know. Su Peijian's expression was a little ugly. She stood there without moving, only looking at Su Qingsang. Her gaze fell on the necklace around her neck. That was last month. The limited edition jewelry that Master William had just released. She hadn't ordered it yet, but Su Qingsang had already put it on. She was just an illegitimate daughter. Wasn't she afraid of losing her good fortune by being so flamboyant? Uncle, auntie. Compared to the Su family, Qiu Yanba's attitude was much more friendly. Peijian, long time no see. It's been a long time. Su Peijian withdrew her gaze from Su Qingsang and said expressionlessly, "To think that you still remember." Su Qingsang took a step back without a trace. She had a feeling that a fight was about to break out in this situation. Hu Jinyao squeezed her little hand as if he knew what she was thinking.
Dad.
Auntie, I still have a few friends I need to take Qingsang to say hello to, so I'll have to wait for a while.
Please help yourselves.
Hu Jinyao left with Su Qingsang, leaving the Su family looking at each other, as if they couldn't believe that Hu Jinyao didn't give them face. Only Su Peijian noticed that when Su Qingsang was about to leave, Qiu Yanba's gaze lingered on her for a while longer. Was it unintentional? Or was it intentional? After all, Su Qinghui was an experienced man. Even if he didn't like Qiu Yanba breaking off the engagement with his daughter, he still maintained his composure. Su Peijian had been observing Qiu Yanba the whole time. She barely noticed that his eyes were on Su Qingsang. She slowly relaxed. Just then, someone came over to greet her. She exchanged greetings with the newcomer. Chapter 255. Su Qingsang and Hu Jinyao met a circle of people, many of whom she had seen at the Su family's banquets before. However, at that time, her identity was the illegitimate daughter of the Su family. But now, she had become the wife of the president of Tianyu Group. Naturally, those people's attitudes also changed. This was actually quite an ironic thing. However, Su Qingsang wouldn't take these people's attitudes to heart. This was how the circle worked. Only those who were valued by their families would be recognized in the circle. Those who were not valued by their families would naturally not be looked upon favorably by their families. Halfway through the banquet, Su Qingsang saw Li Junxing arrive. It was a great honor for the Tianyu Group to be able to invite the mayor to the banquet. However, Su Qingsang, who had gone to Rong City and learned about the relationship between Hu Jinyao and Li Junxing, was not surprised. Hu Jinyao and Li Junxing were just ordinary friends. However, there were a lot of guests at the moment, so he still had to greet them. Go ahead. I'm going to the bathroom.
All right.
Hu Jinyao patted the back of her hand. Come here quickly after you're done. I still have to introduce Junxing to you. Su Qingsang couldn't help but roll her eyes at him, as if he was telling the truth. Coming out of the bathroom, Su Qingsang was about to walk through the corridor to the banquet hall when a tall figure appeared in front of her. Her footsteps stopped, and she took a step back. Looking at the person in front of him, he nodded and was about to walk past him.
Qingsang.
Qiu Yanba looked at Su Qingsang with amazement and admiration in his eyes. You're so beautiful today. Today, Su Qingsang was so beautiful that he couldn't resist her.
Thank you.
Su Qingsang didn't want to waste any more time with Qiu Yanba. Others might not know, but she knew it very well. Ever since I left Qingyuan County, I haven't had the chance to meet with you. A long time has passed in the blink of an eye. What's the matter? Su Qingsang interrupted him. Her rather impolite attitude made Qiu Yanba smile bitterly. Qingsang, can I look for you for no reason?
No.
Su Qingsang's refusal was straightforward and simple. I'm married, and you're my brother-in-law. Your sister and I have already broken off our engagement. So what? Does it have anything to do with me? Of course. I broke off the engagement because of you. Stop. Su Qingsang had known about this before, but she still couldn't bear to hear Qiu Yanba repeat it again with such a resolute attitude. Qiu Yanba, you breaking off the engagement with my sister is your own business. It has nothing to do with me. Don't tell me it's for me. But I did it for you. When Qiu Yanba said this, he looked at her affectionately. If I had seen the good in you earlier, I wouldn't have gotten engaged to Su Peijian. Qiu Yanba. Su Qingsang was so angry that she almost laughed. Don't you feel guilty for saying that? How long had he been engaged to Su Peijian? How many years has it been? Speaking of which, the two of them were childhood sweethearts. And now you're saying it's inappropriate? Why did he put the blame on her? She thanked him, but she couldn't afford such a reason. Qingsang. Qiu Yanba sighed and took a step forward. I don't care if you believe me or not, and I don't care what you think, but I have to let you know how I feel. I got it. Can I go now? Su Qingsang tried to walk around him again, but Qiu Yanba reached out and grabbed her hand. Chapter 256. Who told you that I had no choice but to be with Hu Jinyao? Isn't it? Of course not. Even though she had gotten married casually in the beginning, her feelings for Hu Jinyao had slowly changed over the past few months. Do you like him? Qiu Yanba's expression was a little ugly. It was even more difficult for him to say those words. He's my husband. If I don't like him, do I like you? Su Qing-sang didn't dare to say that she was in love with Hu Jiniao right now, but she really liked him. Qiu Yanba's expression was not good, and there was a clear flash of jealousy in his eyes. He looked at Su Qing-sang's beautiful face. She was really beautiful, but such beauty had nothing to do with him. A wave of unwillingness surged in his heart. He reached out and hugged Su Qing-sang. "If you give me a chance, I think I can make you forget him and fall in love with me." Qiu Yanba. She didn't know that Qiu Yanba was so narcissistic. "That's impossible. You haven't even tried. So, how do you know it's impossible?" Qiu Yanba's hand was still on her waist. The dress was light, and she could feel the warmth of his palm on the back of her waist. She was not used to it, and her face turned cold. "Qiu Yanba, let go of me." "What if I don't?" She smelled so good. It wasn't the fragrance of perfume, but a light, extremely elegant fragrance. He couldn't help but move closer to smell it more clearly. Seeing him approaching, Su Qing-sang pushed him away without thinking and moved away from his arms.
Qiu Yanba.
Su Qing-sang was still concerned about the fact that he had saved her life last time. "I'm already married. You can divorce even if you're married."
Qiu Yanba didn't care about that.
Su Qing-sang looked at him as if she was looking at a lunatic. "My husband is Hu Jiniao." She didn't know Hu Jiniao's identity before, but now she did. The eldest son of the Hu family in Rong City. The president of Tianyu Group. Could she get a divorce with such an identity? "Qing-sang, do you really not think that Hu Jiniao married you for a purpose?" Because of Hu Jiniao's identity, Qiu Yanba increasingly believed that Hu Jiniao couldn't be true to Su Qing-sang. Hearing that, Su Qing-sang frowned deeply.
"Qiu Yanba.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Why do you have to say such strange things to me? But I want to tell you that it's impossible for me and you. It's impossible even without Hu Jiniao."
"Why?"
"You're so smart. How could you not know?" She liked a peaceful life. If she got together with Qiu Yanba, she would not be able to live in peace for the rest of her life. That was definitely not what she wanted. Qiu Yanba narrowed his eyes and was about to take a step forward when a voice rang out behind him.
"Yanba?"
Su Peijian narrowed her eyes and looked at the two people in front of her. She came late and only heard the last two sentences. Her eyes darted back and forth between the two of them. Her woman's intuition told her that these two people were not simple. "Chief Cho, please do as you wish. I'll go in first." After saying that, Su Qing-sang nodded slightly at the two of them and turned to leave. Qiu Yanba narrowed his eyes and turned to look at Su Peijian. His face was expressionless, and it was impossible to tell whether he was happy or angry. Chapter 257. Qiu Yanba paused and looked at Su Peijian. "I don't know what you're talking about. Are you feeling guilty? Do you think I can't tell?" Su Peijian's low voice was filled with anger. "Your eyes are almost glued to her. Is that so? Then you must be mistaken." Qiu Yanba was unmoved. Su Peijian was so angry that her face turned green. She glared at Qiu Yanba and stopped him from walking inside. "Qiu Yanba, don't get one thing wrong. Su Qing-sang is a married woman." "So what?" Qiu Yanba chuckled. "I can still get a divorce after getting married. Do you think I care about that kind of thing?" This was tantamount to a tacit agreement. Su Peijian felt her heart ache. She glared at the man in front of her, wishing she could stare 2 holes into his body. "You want to break off the engagement with me because of her? Qiu Yanba, have you ever let me down? You're wrong about one thing. I didn't do it for her. I did it for myself." Qiu Yanba corrected her. "Before I truly like someone, I don't think it matters who I marry. But now that he had someone he liked, he naturally wanted to marry the person he liked. Don't you agree?" Ignoring Su Peijian's sour expression, Qiu Yanba entered the venue. Su Peijian bit her lip so hard that it almost broke. She stood there and clenched her fists tightly. His face turned from green to white, then from white to red. In the end, she stomped her feet angrily and followed him into the banquet hall. In the banquet hall, Su Qing-sang had returned to Hu Jiniao's side. He was standing with Li Junsheng. The two men were equally tall and handsome. They were two different types of handsome men, and they looked very pleasing to the eye. People who didn't know the inside story would think that Tianyu Group and Hu Jinyao were powerful. The new mayor had only been here for a few months, but their relationship was already so good. However, Su Qingseng clearly knew that the two of them were childhood friends. "Hello, little sister-in-law." Li Junsheng was used to being polite, so he took the initiative to greet Su Qingseng when he saw her. "Hello." Hu Jinyao's friend was naturally her friend as well. She had to give him some face. Jinyao really went and married such a beautiful wife. Li Junsheng said half-jokingly and half-seriously, "It's a pity that we're still alone at our age." How pitiful.
Don't you dare.
There were many people in Rome City who wanted to get close to the Li family. Now that such a young mayor had come to Lin City, the wealthy ladies in Lin City were even more tempted. "If you really find it hard to sleep alone, I don't mind introducing a few people to you."
No.
Li Junsheng waved his hand. "I'm not interested." Hu Jinyao smiled. Li Junsheng was ambitious. He was not the kind of person who would be trapped by love. Being a mayor was not his ultimate goal. After bypassing this layer, he didn't say anything more. Halfway through the banquet, almost all the guests had arrived. At this moment, the MC went up on stage to liven up the atmosphere. What he said was nothing more than to thank everyone for their support for Tianyu Group. Then he invited Hu Jinyao onto the stage. Hu Jinyao went on stage and said a few welcoming words. He also thanked the companies for their trust and willingness to cooperate with him. It was a very ordinary speech, and the audience applauded. Before the applause stopped, Hu Jinyao suddenly reached out his hand to Su Qingseng with a faint smile on his face. At this moment, the light shone on Su Qingseng. She was a little surprised and didn't understand what Hu Jinyao wanted to do. Chapter 258. In fact, I invited everyone here today to thank you for your support during the time when Tianyu came to Lin City. I also want to introduce someone to everyone. As Hu Jinyao spoke, Su Qingseng had already walked up to him. He took her hand and let her face the crowd with him. He held Su Qingseng's hand tightly. "I think everyone already knows this person, but I still want to introduce her again. This is my wife, Su Qingseng. Please take care of her in the future." He didn't say anything more, but the rest of the people knew what he meant. This person was Hu Jinyao's wife. Hu Jinyao had made it very clear what other people's attitudes would be in the future. There were whispers under the stage, but these whispers and looks wouldn't affect Hu Jinyao at all. As he spoke, he didn't forget to glance at the Su family indifferently. There was a smile in his eyes, but the meaning was quite obvious. Su Qingseng was under his protection. If the Su family wanted to do anything in the future, they would have to think twice. Su Qinghui didn't look good, and Su Peizhen looked even worse. Even Li Qianxue, who is usually calm and composed, furrowed her brows. She didn't expect Hu Jinyao to care so much about Su Qingseng, an illegitimate daughter. This was beyond her expectations. Qiu Yanba also didn't look good. He didn't care about how others looked at him. However, Hu Jinyao's attitude and Su Qingseng's shocked and touched look suddenly made him unhappy. The music started, and then it was time for the ball. Su Qingseng was brought to the dance floor by Hu Jinyao. "I don't dance very well." Although she had learned she was really not good at it. "It's okay. I'll lead you." Hu Jinyao didn't mind at all. He led her around the dance floor. Su Qingseng looked up at him. "Did you think of that in advance?" Of course. He had to let the ignorant people in Lin City know who he was protecting. "Actually, you don't have to do this." "What's wrong? Don't you like it?" He knew that the Su family liked to make things difficult for her. She thought he didn't know about the last call, but he knew very well. He had to teach these people a lesson. "I'm fine. Thank you." Su Qingseng smiled at him. She didn't care about other people's opinions. She didn't care about the attitude of the Su family for a long time, but Hu Jinyao's actions still made her feel very touched. "You're welcome. You're my wife. This is what I should do." Hu Jinyao leaned close to her ear as he spoke. Compared with verbal thanks, I hope you can give me some tangible thanks. The corners of Su Qingsong's mouth twitched. Looking at Hu Jinyao's face, she almost understood what he meant.
Wife.
I'm telling the truth, Hu Jinyao said in a very low voice with an expectant look on his face. I've always hoped that you could take the initiative for once. Do you want to try it tonight? Hu Jinyao. He was never serious, even on such an occasion. Su Qingsong didn't want to talk to him anymore. Just as the music ended, she took a step back and smoothly got out of his arms. Honey, don't be in such a hurry to leave. I still have a show to do. What program? Su Qingsong was confused, but Hu Jinyao took her hand and led her outside. Chapter 259. When Su Qingsong went out, a waiter brought her the coat that she had just taken off. Hu Jinyao put it on her. Naturally, it wouldn't be cold in the villa. However, it was windy outside and it was a little chilly. Su Qingsong tightened her coat. Seeing this, Hu Jinyao reached out and put his arm around her waist. The heat from his body made her feel cold all of a sudden. He showed her around the villa. Su Qingsong didn't notice when she came in just now. Only now did she realize that the garden outside was terrifyingly big. The wide lawn was dotted with small white night lights, and it didn't look too dark. Against the faint starlight above her head and the faint music coming from inside, everything looked quiet and beautiful. They walked around the main body of the villa to the back and found that there was a super large swimming pool inside. Swimming pool? Su Qingsong's eyes widened. Wasn't this the same configuration as the Hor family's? Although it was a little smaller than the Hor family's, it was still very nice. There's a greenhouse and a small forest in the back. I asked someone to put a swing chair in it. In the future, when you have nothing to do, you can sit on it and read, or invite friends over for afternoon tea. Su Qingsong blinked her eyes, and it took her a few seconds to understand what Hu Jinyao meant. What do you mean by in the future? Don't tell me that this villa is yours. Su Qingsong's shocked and dazed look was really cute. Hu Jinyao was happy and leaned over to kiss her on the lips. This villa isn't mine. It's yours. Su Qingsong's mouth opened into an O shape. What did you say? I said this villa is yours. Hu Jinyao squeezed her little hand, glanced around, and then looked away. I bought this place not long after I married you. It was just renovated last month. I was planning to give it to you as a wedding gift. Su Qingsong was obviously shocked by his words. Wedding gift? There's no need for that, right? We've been married for a long time.
Yes.
We've been married for a long time. A few months wasn't a long time. Hu Jinyao held her hand and looked at her frightened face. He found it more and more amusing. I know we've been married for a long time, but I always felt that the previous wedding was too simple. I'm afraid you won't be willing to hold another wedding. So, after thinking about it, I think it's better to give you a wedding present. You don't have to give me this, do you? This is too exaggerated. Su Qingsong was really frightened. There are only two of us. We live in such a big house. Who's going to clean it? And don't you think it's space? And before she could finish, Hu Jinyao had already kissed her lips. It was not a quick kiss, but a long, lingering kiss, until she couldn't speak at all and couldn't breathe. Looking at her blushing face and snuggling into his arms, Hu Jinyao said softly, "If it's cleaning, just hire someone. If you have time, you can have a few more children in the future." If he still felt lonely, he could hold a banquet at home and invite people over to play. These are all trivial matters. Su Qingsong blushed. She seemed to have asked a stupid question. I still think it's too exaggerated. A mansion as a wedding present? Although she knew that he was rich, she was not used to this kind of spending. Chapter 260. Stop. Su Qingsong couldn't take it anymore. She needed some time to digest everything that had happened today. She looked up at Hu Jinyao and asked, Hu Jinyao, why are you so nice to me? Silly, that's it? Hu Jinyao pulled her into his arms and lowered his head to kiss her lips. You're my wife. If I don't treat you well, who should I treat well? Don't worry. I will treat you better in the future. Su Qingseng leaned against his heart, unable to say a word. What happened? Hu Jinyao looked down at her and found that she didn't look happy. He was confused. Don't you like it? We'll go and see the others tomorrow.
No.
It's not that I don't like it. Su Qingseng shook her head. She reached out and put her arms around Hu Jinyao's waist. I just feel a little touched. Fool. Hu Jinyao rubbed the top of her head. Then I'll definitely give you more things in the future to make you more touched. Hu Jinyao. Su Qingseng looked up at him with a serious and focused gaze. Actually, you don't have to do this. That's not what I want. Wife. It's fine as long as the house is big enough, but not too big. Don't ask for too much money, just enough to spend. I'm very happy that you gave me a gift and took the trouble to let everyone in Lin City know me, but I still hope that the two of us can live a simple life. Okay? All right. I'll listen to you. Hu Jinyao smiled gently. Su Qingseng felt her heart beating fast. It was warm and made her feel very comfortable. Hu Jinyao didn't force her to accept it. He also gave her time to adapt to her new identity. She raised her head and leaned in to kiss his lips again. This time, Hu Jinyao took the initiative and held her waist tightly. The lights in the back garden were not very bright, but the two figures looked quite beautiful in the night. Qiu Yanba, who was standing in the corner, narrowed his eyes as he watched the two of them kissing. You don't like it, do you? A very soft voice rang in his ear. Qiu Yanba turned around and found that Su Peijian had also come out. She had also seen that scene. Qiu Yanba frowned slightly and was about to leave. Before he could take more than 2 steps, Su Peijian blocked his way. Do you feel bad? Are you feeling unwell? Unfortunately, it was too late. She's married. Her voice was one of schadenfreude that had never been heard before. That jealous look had completely lost her usual calmness, and she did not have the bearing of the eldest daughter of the Su family. You don't look good like this. Qiu Yanba looked at Su Peijian's face. Naturally, she was also very beautiful. It would not be an exaggeration to describe her as bright and moving. But now that he saw this face, he was a little unhappy. If I don't look good, you won't look any better. Qiu Yanba. She didn't want to disturb the other people in the room, so she lowered her voice. What do you want? Hu Jinyao is not someone you can afford to offend, and Tianyu Group is not something you can easily deal with now. You don't have to worry about what I want to do for now. I also want to say this to you. Hu Jinyao's attitude today had explained everything. You should know better. Su Peijian's face darkened. What Hu Jinyao did today was a slap in the face to the Su family. Chapter 261. She didn't hate Su Qingseng for hooking up with Hu Jinyao. She also didn't hate Hu Jinyao for publicly spoiling Su Qingseng. But Su Qingseng shouldn't have hooked up with Qiu Yanba. Su Peijian's eyes flashed with anger as her nails dug into her flesh. Qiu Yanba didn't want to pay attention to her. He turned around and left. Before he left, he glanced at the two of them kissing. Different from the anger in Su Qingseng's eyes, he was thinking about something else. There was still time. He wasn't in a hurry. Some people couldn't sleep that night. In addition to Su Peijian and Qiu Yanba, He Xiankai and He Xianyao also couldn't sleep. The He family had also come to Lin City to open a company and had cooperated with Tianyu Group before. But this time, Tianyu Group's banquet didn't invite He Xiankai and He Xianyao. Not only did they not invite them, but the cooperation project was already in the bag. But Hu Jinyao came to the bidding and ended up cooperating with the Su family. Hu Jinyao married Su Qingseng, so it was normal for him to cooperate with the Su family. But for the He family, it was a sign of their attitude. Not to mention He Xianyao, even He Xiankai didn't feel comfortable. One had to know that they also had a relationship with Li Junsheng. Hu Jinyao was so close to Li Junsheng, but he didn't give the He family any face. It was beyond the He siblings' expectations. Brother. He Xianyao saw some photos posted on WeChat Moments, and her face turned green with anger. Why was Su Qingseng in the limelight? Why was Hu Jinyao so nice to her? Don't you understand? He Xiankai frowned. He regretted helping his sister set Hu Jinyao up last time. You offended Hu Jinyao last time. What did I do? Didn't I also? He Xianyao didn't finish her sentence. Brother, what should we do? Are we really going to let Brother Jinyao and that woman stay together like this? What else? He Xiankai knew what his sister was thinking and sighed. Don't mess around. Father is already very unhappy that the cooperation project didn't go through. If we really offend Hu Jinyao, I can't guarantee what will happen next. He Xianyao didn't speak, but her face showed some reluctance. No matter what, she had to try. Whether it was Hu Jinyao or the position of the young mistress of the Hu family. Su Qingsang and Hu Jinyao stayed in the villa today. The largest bedroom on the second floor was Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsang's room. Su Qingsang went upstairs and found that she liked both the decoration and the furnishings inside. Especially the semicircular balcony. It was super big, with a rattan coffee table and 2 sofas outside. On the side, there was a flower stand with a few pots of small green plants. Sitting on the sofa, he could see the swimming pool in the backyard. All the guests had left. When Hu Jinyao went upstairs, he saw Su Qingsang sitting on the sofa. He walked up and put his arm around her waist.
What are you looking at?
Aren't you cold? It's okay. Su Qingsang turned to look at him. The guests are all gone. Let's go. Hu Jinyao pinched her cheek. He couldn't bear to let go of her delicate and smooth skin. Are you tired? I'm not tired. Compared to continuous surgeries, tonight was really not tiring. Aren't you tired? Hu Jinyao nodded. It's getting late. Do you want me to prepare the water for you to bathe? Chapter 262. Hu Jinyao quickly filled the tub and came out. Su Qingsang was about to get up, but he suddenly reached out and picked her up. Su Qingsang was startled and quickly put her arms around his neck. What are you doing? I'm bathing with you. I can also try the jacuzzi that I asked people to install.
No.
Su Qingsang shook her head. This guy had never taken a bath with her before. Be good. We have to save water. Hu Jinyao didn't allow her to refuse and carried her into the bathroom.
Hu Jinyao.
I'm tired. How could he have the cheek to talk about saving water? God knew that they couldn't save water if they took a bath together. They would only use more, okay? You just said you weren't tired. It's okay. I'll only do it once. I said it wrong. I'm tired. Be good. Just once. Hu Jinyao's voice disappeared behind the bathroom. Soon, only the sound of water could be heard. As for Su Qingsang's protest, it disappeared in the sound of water. At the same time, a plane from Rong City to Lin City slowly landed. When Su Qingsang got up in the morning, Hu Jinyao was no longer in the room. She got up and walked to the cloakroom attached to the room. It was similar to Hu Jinyao's room in Rong City, but a size smaller. Compared to her small apartment, it was still very big. There were clothes in the cloakroom that Hu Jinyao had asked people to prepare for her in the morning, all year round. Su Qingsang looked at it for a while, then picked out a relatively casual outfit and put it on. After washing up, she went downstairs. In the past, every time Hu Jinyao swam in the Hor family, she would practice boxing with old Master Hor. This time, she could finally stand by the pool and watch Hu Jinyao swim. She had to say that Hu Jinyao's swimming posture was very handsome and standard. The morning sun shone on his body, dyeing his wheat-colored skin with a layer of gold. She knew that the Hu family had a gym. No wonder Hu Jinyao had such a good figure. He was indeed a very self-disciplined person. No matter how late he slept last night, he would definitely get up early the next day. Not only did he get up early, but he also insisted on exercising every day. The weather was getting colder, and the morning sun was not very strong. She sat down by the pool and watched Hu Jinyao swim. Suddenly, she felt that the years were peaceful and good. Thinking about how well Hu Jinyao had treated her during this period of time, she thought that it would be okay to spend the rest of her life with this man, right? At least when she thought of that kind of life, she actually had some faint expectations in her heart. Hu Jinyao's figure suddenly appeared by the pool. He reached out and pulled her body into the pool with ease. Ah, Su Qingsang cried out. She didn't know how to swim. How could Hu Jinyao let her sink into the water? He held her body tightly, not letting her sink into the water. At the same time, he lifted her up. Peeking at your man for so long. Who peeped? Su Qingseng blushed. I didn't. Yes, indeed. There's no need to peek. You are my wife. You can watch it openly. Then tell me, is it nice? What's there to see? Su Qingseng was very stubborn. If it's not nice, why did you look at it for so long? Hu Jinyao held her and slightly loosened his grip, as if he was going to throw her into the water. It's nice, it's nice. Su Qingseng was afraid of him. Don't let go. I don't know how to swim. You don't know how to swim? That's good. I'll teach you. As Hu Jinyao spoke, he hugged her tightly. Su Qingseng had been in the water and felt a little cold, but after being hugged like this, she didn't feel cold anymore.
Stop it.
I'm not wearing a swimsuit. Let go of me first. Her hands clung tightly to his shoulders. Hu Jinyao looked at her like this. Her hair was wet, and her clothes were sticking to her body. Chapter 263. Su Qingseng looked at Su Peijian, who was sitting in front of her. She didn't understand why she was looking for her. Today was Monday and there were many patients. She had been busy the whole morning. She wanted to go to dinner soon, but Su Peijian came to see her. Su Peijian had been sitting across from her for a while. She didn't say anything and just stared at her. Su Qingseng felt a little uncomfortable. She cleared her throat and said, Have you eaten? Let's eat together if you haven't. She remembered that this coffee shop had simple meals. She wanted to finish eating quickly before going back to work in the afternoon. Su Peijian still didn't say anything. Her eyes fell on Su Qingseng's neck. There were 2 big marks there. She wasn't an ignorant girl. She knew what they were. Su Qingseng felt more and more uncomfortable under her gaze. When she realized where she was looking, she felt embarrassed again. It was all Hu Jinyao's fault. He said that he wanted her to spend the holidays in the villa, but in fact, he just wanted to do whatever he wanted with her over the weekend. However, she was touched by him introducing her to everyone and giving her gifts. She couldn't bear to refuse. In the end, she was exhausted to death. Today, she saw the marks on her neck before going to work. In fact, she had already worn a scarf when she went out. However, after seeing patients and pregnant women all morning, she felt hot and took off the scarf. She was a little embarrassed to be stared at by Su Peijian like this. She said again, What's the matter? Su Qingseng, you've lived in the Su family for so many years, but I didn't know you were so powerful. Su Peijian's words were full of sarcasm. She looked at the marks and then moved her eyes to Su Qingseng's face. Her face was an eyesore. You're already married, but you still hook up with Yanba. Su Qingseng, don't you think you're shameless? Su Qingseng's face darkened. She looked at Su Peijian with a faint anger on her face. If you came to me today to make unreasonable accusations, then I'm sorry. I have something to do. As she spoke, she stood up. Su Peijian stood up as well. Am I wrong? Yanba and I were fine. It was because of you that Yanba broke off the engagement with me. You're wrong. Su Qingseng interrupted her rudely. What happened between you and Qiu Yanba has nothing to do with me. If you insist on saying it's because of me, I've been in the Su family for so long, and nothing has happened between me and Qiu Yanba. To put it bluntly, it's just a problem among yourselves. Su Qingseng. Did I say something wrong? Su Qingseng's bright future wouldn't take the blame. You can eat more, but you can't talk nonsense. If there were no problems between you and Qiu Yanba, no one would be able to get involved. If there was a problem between the two of you, the result would be the same without the intervention of others. You're also a smart person. I don't need to tell you this, do I? Are you lecturing me? I wouldn't dare, Su Qingseng said calmly. I just want to reason with you. Su Qingseng, don't be too proud. Do you believe that I can make you lose everything? I believe you. Su Qingseng nodded. She believed that the Su family had that kind of ability, and she also believed that Su Peijian could do what she said. But so what? Even if you make me lose everything, the truth is the truth. Okay. Okay. Su Peijian nodded. Are you saying that you won't admit your mistake? Chapter 264. Su Qing sang, I didn't know you were so powerful. It seems that I underestimated you before. You were pretending in the Su family, weren't you? Su Peijian really hated herself for being blind. How could she believe that Su Qing sang was innocent? Pretending? What do you mean pretending? Su Qing sang raised her eyebrows. She didn't want to admit to the accusation. I just wanted to avoid trouble. I still say the same thing. If you have a problem with Qiu Yanba, go to him. Don't come to me. Su Peijian's face darkened. She didn't expect Su Qing sang to be so stubborn. Su Qing sang didn't want to pay attention to Su Peijian. She had a clear conscience. She walked away quickly, leaving Su Peijian sitting there with obvious hatred in her eyes. Su Qing sang didn't take it to heart. Su Peijian had been spoiled by Su Qinghui and his wife since she was a child. She just couldn't stand that Qiu Yanba didn't love her anymore. She believed that she would understand when she met a better man. On the way back to the hospital, Su Qing sang bought herself a snack. There was no lunch in the cafeteria because of the delay. When she was near the hospital, she walked a little fast and almost bumped into someone. She steadied herself and took a step back. Sorry. She apologized first. When she saw the person in front of her, she was stunned. Auntie, it's you? Xiang Saiping's eyes were a little misty. She looked at Su Qing sang with excitement. Su Qing sang felt a little uncomfortable. Auntie, are you okay? Didn't I bump into you? Xiang Kaiping was speechless. She had been in Lin City for a few days. It took her a lot of effort to find out Su Qingsang's whereabouts without alerting the Su family. She wanted to come and find her in the morning. However, she was old and in poor health. Her lower back still hurt from the fall last time. When she arrived, she found out that Su Qing sang had gone out for lunch. She was vexed and regretful. She should have come earlier. Maybe she could have had lunch with her daughter. Auntie. Su Qing sang was scared by her stare. She called out again. Auntie, why are you here? Aren't you in Rong City? Xiang Saiping's voice was a little agitated. I'm here for you. Looking for me? Su Qing sang frowned. She was there when Hu Jinyao bumped into Xiang Kaiping. She also saw that Xiang Kaiping didn't get hit at all. She fell on her own. After that, she continued to care about this matter. She asked Hu Jinyao about it, and he said that everything was settled. He even gave Xiang Kaiping 100,000 yuan. He didn't expect that she would come to Lin City. Su Qingsang's expression was a little strange. Auntie, what's the matter? Xiang Kaiping was still thinking about what to say when she saw the lunchbox in Su Qingsang's hand. You haven't had lunch yet? Then, why don't we have a meal together? Su Qingsang was stunned for a moment. The way the person in front of her didn't play by the rules made her even more wary. He only hesitated for a moment.
Sure.
Auntie, what do you want to eat? I'm fine with anything. I'm fine with anything. Xiang Saiping's voice was cautious. Su Qingsang was even more guarded. However, he still brought Xiang Kaiping to a restaurant next to the hospital. The price was not high. Because it was close to the hospital, the price was cheap and the business was quite good. It was already past lunchtime, and there weren't many customers inside. Su Qingsang sat down with Xiang Kaiping and ordered for her. While waiting for the dishes to be served, she looked at Xiang Kaiping and asked again. Chapter 265. The weather in Lin City was getting colder. Of course, it was not as cold as Rong City. Xiang Kaiping was wearing a woolen coat. She seemed to be afraid of the cold. There were some fine lines at the corners of her eyes. When she saw the confusion in Su Qingsang's eyes, she rubbed her hands together. He seemed a little embarrassed to speak. Seeing her like this, Su Qingsang wasn't in a hurry to tell her. Auntie, if you don't want to tell me now, you can eat first. Let's talk after dinner. She wasn't in a hurry to ask what difficulties the other party might have. Xiang Kaiping did not expect Su Qingsang to be so considerate. Tears welled up in her eyes again. It was obvious that Su Qing-sang had a good upbringing. She breathed a sigh of relief. That man seemed to take good care of Su Qing-sang.
The food was soon served.
Su Qing-sang found that Hu Jinyao barely ate meat, only vegetables. She didn't ask any more questions. The two of them ate quietly. During the meal, Su Qing-sang thought of sending Hu Jinyao a message to let him know, but then she felt that she could handle this kind of thing, so it was unnecessary. After the meal, it was getting late. Su Qing-sang glanced at the time. She still had about 20 minutes before she had to go to work. Andy, can you say what you want to say first? I have to go to work later. Xiang Kaiping had just put down the bowl. Her hands trembled when she heard Su Qing-sang's words. He seemed to have made up his mind. Xiang Kaiping stared at Su Qing-sang's face and spoke very softly. I know your name is Su Qing-sang, and you're 25 years old. Your birthday is on the 26th of December, the day after Christmas. Your father is Su Qinghui, you. Su Qing-sang's expression slowly changed. She stared at Xiang Kaiping defensively. What are you trying to say? Why do you know all this? These things were not secrets. A little investigation would reveal the truth. However, why did Xiang Kaiping want to investigate these things? Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad person. I'm really not a bad person. Xiang Kaiping waved her hand. There seemed to be a hint of urgency on her wrinkled face. Qing-sang, I am your mother. Su Qing-sang's hand, which was about to reach for her phone, paused, and her phone fell back into her bag. She glared at the woman in front of her, her eyes full of suspicion and wariness. What did you say? I'm really your mother. I also know that you were born at 9 in the morning. You weighed 6 catties and 8 tails when you were born. Stop. Su Qing-sang raised her hand, blinked, and tried to calm down. You said that I'm your daughter? Are you my mother? Yes. So you mean, you and my father, Su Qinghui, you. She didn't know what to say after that, but the situation in front of her was obviously something she hadn't expected.
Yes.
I was once Su Qinghui's lover. Xiang Kaiping gave Su Qing-sang a definite answer, but Su Qing-sang couldn't believe it. She couldn't help but look at Xiang Kaiping again. She looked to be in her 50s. There were fine lines at the corners of her eyes, and her face was a little yellow. His hair was also a little gray. Even so, it could still be seen from her facial features that she should have been pretty when she was young. However, Su Qing-sang couldn't accept that she was her biological mother so easily. Firstly, she couldn't find anything similar to herself in Gu Shijiao. Secondly, she couldn't believe that the woman in front of her used to be Su Qinghui's mistress. Yes, Su Qinghui was married to Li Qianxue. Su Peijian was born before her. The woman in front of him could only be the mistress between Su Qinghui and Li Qianxue. Chapter 266. However, even if the woman in front of her was Su Qinghui's mistress, Su Qing-sang couldn't believe it. Who was Su Qinghui? He was the general manager of the Li family. He had been in a high position for many years and lived like a prince. People would believe him if he said he was only 40 years old. As for Li Qianxue, she was well-maintained, elegant, and had a natural air of nobility about her. She looked at most 30 years old. Even if Su Peijian didn't like Su Qinghui and his wife, she knew the difference between Li Qianxue and Xiang Kaiping. Under such circumstances, how could Su Qing-sang believe that Su Qinghui would have anything to do with such a woman? It didn't make sense. Xiang Kaiping was a little anxious. You can ask your father. Your father knows. He knows. I told him at that time She paused, as if she was a little embarrassed to talk about her past. After thinking for a while, she took out a photo from her pocket and put it in front of Su Qing-sang. I have a photo of you when you were a child. It's normal that you don't believe me because you don't look like me. You look like your father.
I didn't know about you until then.
Su Qing-sang looked at the photo. She could tell that it was from a long time ago. The baby in the photo looked very small, and his facial features did look like Su Qinghui. Xiang Kaiping also took out another photo of her and Su Qinghui together. In this photo, Su Qinghui was much younger and looked more like the baby in the swaddling clothes. Xiang Kaiping didn't look like this in the photo either. She looked very young, gentle, and beautiful, like a girl from Jiangnan. There was another photo of Su Qinghui alone, and this one looked more like him. She had to admit that Su Qinghui was really a handsome guy when he was young. You really looked like your father when you were a child. However, your facial features have grown up. They are similar, but not as similar as when you were a child. Xiang Saiping's hand gently touched the two photos. I was too angry at that time. So, I burned some of the photos, and now there are only these two left. As for your photo, there was only one. Su Qingxing noticed that there was a tear mark on the top of the photo. She must have planned to tear it up at that time. However, she didn't tear it up later and kept it. I was the one who gave you your name. At that time, your father said to call her Zijin. Indigo color, my heart is free. I said that if this name was pronounced in Lin City's dialect, it wouldn't sound good. I said that it would be better to call it Qingqing. Su Qingqing. But your dad thinks it's too ordinary. Then he saw a mulberry tree at the entrance. I said, why don't you call her Qingxing? Because that mulberry tree is where your father and I pledged our love. It was the first time that Su Qingxing had heard about the origin of her name. Looking at the photo, Su Qingxing believed most of it. But she still had her doubts. If you're my mother, why didn't you acknowledge me earlier? Why don't you live with me? At this point, Xiang Saiping's eyes reddened again, and tears flowed from the corners of her eyes. She looked completely different from Li Qianxue. Although she was old, when she cried, she really looked like a willow in the wind. Su Qingxing felt like she was bullying her when she heard Su Qingxing cry like that. In his heart, he trusted her a little more. Chapter 267. I'm sorry. Xiang Kaiping sniffled. She took out a tissue and wiped her tears. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't rush. Tell me slowly. It had been so many years, and the resentment and distress in Su Qingxing's heart had almost dissipated. Your father wanted to marry Li Qianxue. I couldn't help it. I was pregnant. I was going to have an abortion, but I didn't want to. Later, the doctor said that I was in poor health. If I had an abortion, I might not have another child. I didn't dare to have an abortion. When I gave birth to you, your father had already married Li Qianxue. I felt bitter in my heart. Because I was angry that he married someone else, I threw the child to him. I thought that he was better off than me at the time. Maybe he would take good care of you for the sake of our past friendship. Su Qingxing didn't speak. Xiang Kaiping was obviously emotional. She repeated the words, and the process was not smooth. Qingxing, I'm actually not a mistress. Your father and we met first. Really? But later Why did he marry Li Qianxue? Although Su Qingxing wasn't often in the Su family, she had seen a lot of them growing up. Su Qinghui and Li Qianxue were a couple on the surface. They pretended to be respectful in front of outsiders, but they didn't have a good relationship in private. Why did she know? She had seen them once or twice when she was young. Li Qianxue was like a hedgehog in front of Su Qinghui. As for Su Qinghui, he didn't look like a gentleman at all. Instead, he was indifferent. Every time Su Qinghui had an argument with Li Qianxue would look at her colder than before. It's already like this. When I left, I also felt that I was too ashamed to see you. But I didn't expect to hear your name on TV. I hadn't thought about whether to look for you or not, but I met you on the road. Qingxing, I know it may be difficult for you to accept me for a while. Or you think I'm a liar. I'm not a good mother. But I'm really your mother. Xiang Kaiping said a lot. Su Qingxing couldn't bear to see her like that. He took out a tissue and handed it to her, signaling her to stop crying. Okay. I believe you are my mother. Then, Xiang Saiping's gaze suddenly became hopeful. You believe me? You're willing to acknowledge me?
Give me some time.
Su Qingxing glanced at the watch on her wrist. I have to go to work. Are you staying in a hotel or hotel? I'm staying at a hotel nearby. Do you know the way? Why don't you return to the hotel first? Wait till I get off work. We'll talk about it later? Okay. Xiang Kaiping quickly wiped away her tears. She was crying and laughing at the same time. She looked very emotional. Su Qingseng couldn't bear it anymore. She did not want to criticize such a person too much. Su Qingseng didn't insist on driving Xiang Kaiping to the hotel. She went to work first. She has 2 operations in the afternoon. Although they were minor surgeries, they successfully diverted her attention and made her temporarily forget about this matter. It was only when she was about to leave work that she remembered Xiang Kaiping's existence. She was still hesitating about whether to go to the hotel to check on her when she saw Xiang Kaiping sitting on a bench at the entrance of the hospital, waiting for her. Qingseng, you're off work? Xiang Kaiping stood up. Her face was a little red. She didn't know how long she had waited. Chapter 268. Nope. I just got here too. Xiang Kaiping rubbed her hands together. I just wanted to see if you got off work. Su Qingseng sighed in her heart. Where is your hotel? Let me send you back. The hope in Xiang Kaiping's eyes dimmed. Su Qingseng added, I'll take you to get your luggage, and then you can come home with me. Xiang Kaiping's eyes lit up again. Qingseng you, since you are my mother. But there's no reason for you to stay in a hotel. I have another room there, but it's not very big. I hope you won't mind. I don't mind. Xiang Kaiping waved her hand, the smile on her face growing brighter. Su Qingseng didn't know what to say. She followed Xiang Kaiping to the hotel and packed her luggage. He brought her home. It wasn't that she didn't have any doubts, but the more she suspected, the more she wanted to confirm it. Xiang Kaiping didn't say anything, but the ardent look in her eyes made Su Qingseng feel that she could accept her, which made her very happy. No amount of harsh words could be said at this time. She brought Xiang Kaiping home and settled her in the guest room. Although the guest room wasn't frequented, Shi Mengwan used to come here often. Therefore, there were matching blankets and sheets. Su Qingseng helped Xiang Kaiping with the quilt. Xiang Kaiping stood on the side and wanted to help. However, Su Qingseng asked her to sit down and didn't ask her to do anything. Qingseng, this house is yours. My father gave it to me, Su Qingseng explained calmly. He bought me this house after I got into college. Then I moved out. After the banquet the day before yesterday, Hu Jinyao wanted her to move to the villa, but she felt that it was too far away from work, so it wasn't convenient for her to refuse. Hu Jinyao didn't insist. After living here for a few months, he had gotten used to it. Moreover, this place was closer to his company. Xiang Kaiping looked at the house, and there was a hint of gratification in her eyes. Does he treat you well, too? Okay. Is buying a house good enough? Su Qingseng didn't know how to define it, so she didn't continue the topic. Auntie is cooking. You haven't had dinner yet, have you?
No.
Xiang Kaiping waved her hand. Did you hire an auntie? Is it expensive to hire a nanny here? Hu Jinyao invited him. I wonder if it's expensive? Every day she comes over to clean up the room and make dinner. Xiang Kaiping nodded and thought of the young man from last time. Hu Jinyao? The young man from last time? You're my husband. Su Qingsong's answer was much more natural. Xiang Kaiping recalled the time when Hu Jinyao had sent someone to treat her waist injury and the car he had driven. Is he rich? She asked. Su Qingseng was stunned. She didn't expect Xiang Kaiping to ask such a question. I'm okay. Don't think too much. I don't mean anything by it.
I just care about you.
Did your father introduce him to you?
No.
I found it myself. Xiang Kaiping nodded, and the two of them fell silent again. Xiang Kaiping wanted to say something, but didn't dare to. Su Qingseng couldn't find anything to say. Su Qingseng had no experience in getting along with elders. Just then, Hu Jinyao came home. As soon as he came back, he heard from the maid that Su Qingseng had brought someone home. When Su Qingseng and Xiang Kaiping went out, Hu Jinyao put down the key and saw Xiang Kaiping. Sweetheart, this is... Hu Jinyao had a good memory. He almost immediately remembered that he had bumped into this woman in Rong City. She, Su Qingsang was thinking about how to explain. The maid had just finished cooking. Let's eat first. We'll talk after dinner. Chapter 269. The maid left after cooking. Only the three of them were left. Xiang Kaiping stood there, without moving. She was already uncomfortable. She felt even more uncomfortable when she saw Hu Jinniao, especially Hu Jinniao's gaze. But Xiang Kaiping really wanted to spend time with Su Qingsang. Let's eat, Hu Jinniao said first. He looked at Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang winked at him, indicating that they should eat first. The three of them sat down at the dining table. Su Qingsang picked up a bowl and filled it with soup. She thought about it and put it in front of Xiang Kaiping. Have some soup first. Thank you. Thank you. Su Qingsang looked at him and seemed a little helpless. You don't have to be so polite. Xiang Kaiping smiled a little awkwardly, but she couldn't help but glance at Hu Jinniao. Hu Jinniao ignored Xiang Kaiping. He put the soup in front of Su Qingsang and said, Honey, here you go. Su Qingsang took the bowl and smiled at him. The maid's cooking was good. She had 2 surgeries in the afternoon and was hungry. The meal was very quiet. Hu Jinniao, as usual, put food in Su Qingsang's bowl from time to time. Every time this happened, he could see that Xiang Kaiping's eyes were especially gratified, as if she was very happy that Su Qingsang was doing well. Hu Jinniao pretended not to see it and did what he was supposed to do. After dinner, Xiang Kaiping insisted on washing the dishes. Su Qingsang couldn't stop her in time. After Xiang Kaiping put the bowls in the kitchen, Hu Jinniao took Su Qingsang to the living room and sat down. Su Qingsang briefly told him what happened. Hu Jinniao narrowed his eyes. Contrary to Su Qingsang's attitude, he felt that there was something fishy about this matter. Why didn't she come to claim it before? Su Qingsang explained to him in a low voice. Of course, this reason was actually reasonable. She was betrayed by her lover and abandoned her child in a rage. Hu Jinniao could understand, but he was a little uncomfortable. Do you want to hear the truth from me? Go ahead. You didn't look for her for so many years, but you came looking for her after a trip to Rong City. What is your motive? Su Qingsang blinked and looked at Hu Jinniao blankly. She almost immediately understood what he meant. Honey. Hu Jinniao moved closer to Su Qingsang, whispered in her ear, and told her his speculation. In the end, he looked at her face with a hint of heartache. Will you be unhappy if I tell you this? Su Qingsang shook her head. No, I know what you mean. One mustn't have the intention to harm others, but one mustn't not have the heart to guard against others. She understood this logic. After saying the worst-case scenario, Hu Jinniao was in the mood to tease her again. Speaking of which, you really have to be glad that there was a mulberry tree at the door. What if it's a wudong tree? Are you going to be called Qingtong now? Screw you. Su Qingsang's worries dissipated after hearing what Hu Jinniao said. She raised her hand and punched Hu Jinniao's chest. He clutched his chest and fell on the sofa with a pained expression. It hurts, it hurts. I was hit by an arrow. Stop messing around. He really was hit by an arrow. If you don't kiss me, I won't be able to get up. Hu Jinniao's acting was so real. Su Qingsang was about to lose to him. She had no choice but to lean over and kiss him on the cheek. Before she could retreat, she saw Xiang Kaiping, who had been washing the dishes in the kitchen, come out. Su Qingsang blushed and quickly sat up straight. At the same time, she touched Hu Jinniao's arm. Hu Jinniao also sat up. Compared with Su Qingsang's embarrassment, he was much calmer when he was caught being intimate with Su Qingsang. Chapter 270. Seeing how Hu Jinniao took care of her daughter, Xiang Kaiping was actually very pleased. She sat down on the sofa opposite Hu Jinniao and Su Qingsang. She sat upright with her hands on her knees. For a moment, Su Qingsang thought she was looking at an ancient person. Auntie, you don't have to be so polite. She saw that Xiang Kaiping's face was a little pale because she called her auntie, but Su Qingsang couldn't bring herself to call her mother. Hu Jinniao reached out to hold Su Qingsang's hand. Su Qingsang glared at him. However, he stubbornly held Su Qingsang's hand and wouldn't let go. When Su Qingsang was about to pull her hand back, he suddenly looked at Xiang Kaiping and said, "Auntie, can I ask why it took you so long to recognize Qingsang?" Su Qingsang had asked this question just now, but Hu Jinyao's tone and expression were completely different. He was full of vigor, and his eyes were sharp. Although he didn't say it explicitly, it was clear that he wanted to protect Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang forgot to pull her hand back. Xiang Kaiping didn't expect Hu Jinyao to be so fierce, but she still tried her best to explain. I feel sorry for her, and I don't want to disturb her life." "Then why are you disturbing her now?" Hu Jinyao put his hand on Su Qingsang's shoulder and held Su Qingsang's hand tightly with the other. "I heard Qingsang's name on TV last time, so I wanted to see her." Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qingsang with an eager expression. "I want to see her, to know if she's doing well." "I want to. You've seen her now. And then?" Hu Jinyao interrupted her bluntly. Su Qingsang was a little surprised by his sharp attitude, but she didn't say anything to stop him. Xiang Kaiping's lips trembled a little. She really wanted to see if her daughter was doing well before leaving. But after spending so much time with her, she began to feel that it wasn't enough. She wanted to make it up to her daughter, to spend more time with her daughter, and to give Su Qingsang the motherly love she had accumulated over the past 20 years. Maybe Su Qingsang didn't need it anymore, but she wanted to give it. She didn't speak, but Hu Jinyao could tell what Xiang Kaiping meant. His expression didn't change. "Auntie, please forgive me for saying something unpleasant. You may have a good life, but have you ever thought about Qingsang?" Qingsang, you've been living well. We're happy that you didn't show up. But your sudden appearance is undoubtedly a reminder to Qingsang that she is an illegitimate daughter, the child of a mistress. Isn't it? "No, I didn't." Xiang Kaiping panicked and looked at Su Qingsang anxiously. For a moment, she didn't think about what Hu Jinyao meant by illegitimate daughter. "I'm not a mistress. Qingsang, you have to believe me. She really wasn't a mistress. I met my father before the time. Li Qianxue came later." Xiang Kaiping was incoherent. She tried hard to explain herself, but he didn't know where to start. The story was too long, so long that she felt that she couldn't explain it clearly in 1 or 2 sentences. Su Qingsang was indeed very curious about what had happened back then. However, what Hu Jinyao said did make sense. "Auntie." Hu Jinyao interrupted her. What happened in the past was not important at all. What was important was the grievance Su Qingsang had suffered all these years, and the pain she had suffered because of the word, illegitimate daughter. Chapter 271. Hu Jinyao thought much more than Su Qingsang. "I don't care if you're mistress or not, and I don't want to know what happened back then. On the one hand, I just think that you've caused Qingsang a lot of trouble by coming here so rashly. On the other hand, you're the one who said everything. You have no evidence to prove that you're Qingsang's mother. In fact, we can say that you're not." "I am. I really am." Xiang Kaiping was even more agitated than before. She stood up abruptly and looked at Su Qingsang without looking at Hu Jinyao. "Qingsang, I'm really your mother.
Please believe me."
"Since that's the case, let's do a paternity test." Hu Jinyao looked at Xiang Kaiping calmly, but his eyes were sharper than before. "We believe the results of the DNA test. It couldn't be wrong. Don't you agree, Auntie?" Yes. Xiang Kaiping nodded. "Good. I know that one. Qingsang, when do you think we should do it?" Her reaction was beyond Hu Jinyao's expectations. He couldn't help but glance at Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang was also a little surprised. Meeting Hu Jinyao's gaze, she shook her head gently. She turned to Xiang Kaiping and said, "Auntie, don't worry.
It was too late now."
It was too late to do a paternity test. You should rest first. If there's anything else, we'll talk about it tomorrow after a good rest. Is that okay?"
"All right."
"Sure." Xiang Kaiping still looked a little excited. "Qingsang, I hope you can trust me. I really am your mother. Whether you want to do a paternity test, a blood test, or confront Su Qinghui face to face, I'm not afraid. I really just simply want to acknowledge you. Then what? Hu Jinyao's words were still not polite. Do you want Qing Sang to support you?
No, no, no.
Xiang Kaiping waved her hands. I don't need her to take care of me, and I don't need you to. I'm rich. She had been living a simple life for the past few years. Other than hiring a housekeeper, she basically did not have many expenses. I have saved money. Don't worry. I won't let you raise me. You may not be interested in my property, but all these will be yours in the future. After saying this, Xiang Kaiping even thought of going to her room to get her bank book and proof of her assets. I really have money. I can show it to you. Auntie. Su Qing Sang stopped her. Don't be like this. That's not what I meant. If Xiang Kaiping was really her mother, her biological mother, she would definitely raise her. She's just... Xiang Kaiping stood there, not knowing what to do. Su Qing Sang couldn't bear to see that. It made her feel like she was bullying an old man. Auntie, it's getting late. Go and rest. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Xiang Kaiping's lips moved. It was obvious that she had more to say, but in the end, she could only walk back to her room gloomily. The living room quieted down, and Su Qing Sang and Hu Jinyao returned to their room. The two of them didn't fool around like before. Su Qing Sang sat on the edge of the bed and chuckled as she thought about what had happened that day. What's wrong? Didn't you say you wanted to take a shower? Hu Jinyao came out of the shower and happened to see her expression. He stepped forward and put his arm around her waist. As he spoke, he kissed her lips. Su Qing Sang took a step back to avoid his kiss and put a hand on his chest. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.